Hello, once again, this is the Waygookin doing another review for you of the OnePlus 2 phone. You might be wondering why. Recently, OnePlus did a software update on this phone. So the software got updated and it was a 1 gig size update, so pretty big. So naturally with an update that big, that means there's different changes that occurred on the phone, so we'll review some of them. Probably the biggest change a lot of people would notice, so we get the camera to focus on it, is the fact that this phone now has voice over LTE enabled on the phone. So the history of that, for those who don't know, a lot of phones start becoming popular, unlocked GSM phones like the OnePlus models. At that time, there became controversy in the United States over LTE Band 12 used by T-Mobile. LTE Band 12 is an LTE band that has enormous range, but it would cover areas that T-Mobile didn't even have a phone signal. So you could have T-Mobile service, you could have full bars, but you wouldn't be able to make a phone call because it was showing LTE bars and not phone signal. So there became a controversy because you had people online that have T-Mobile that were saying phone makers need to support the T-Mobile testing and they shouldn't be making phones without voice over LTE enabled on them. Other people were saying, T-Mobile, you're telling Sprint to build out their network, try fixing your own network. So the trolling back and forth on both sides became so big that it actually caused some websites to remove commenting on their site. So definitely controversial at the time. It really became noticeable when Motorola had a phone that did support Band 12, did a software update, then all of a sudden Band 12 was removed from the phone. And so there were arguments, did T-Mobile USA tell Motorola to remove the update? Other people said, no, that never happened. T-Mobile officially denied telling Motorola to remove Band 12 with the software update. So who you believe is who you believe, but it's just an interesting thing that happened. And so to avoid that issue, because the phone wasn't going to have voice over LTE, OnePlus just decided not to add Band 12 altogether, and other companies decided to make phones without LTE Band 12 support in them. So now it does have voice over LTE. OnePlus does say that it's for selected carriers, so obviously if you're in the United States using this phone does not have CDMA radio, so you're not going to use it on Verizon, you're not going to use it on Sprint, so T-Mobile, probably AT&T would be the carriers anyway that this would be supported for, since those are the only carriers of the 4 major carriers that you could use this phone with. This phone is in dark mode. The dark mode is darker also. For those of you unaware about dark mode on a phone uses less light. So with it using less light, you get more on-screen time and a better battery life. So definitely something that a lot of people look forward to using. You can get bad battery life even in dark mode, just depending upon how you use the settings, so be aware of that. One major question people had with the update: would this change the phone for the Android 7.0? Some people were looking forward to it. Some people were saying OnePlus would never do it. We are in the settings. As you can see, Android 6.0.1, so it's the same version of Android as it was before. So nothing new there. As a person who has a phone with Android 7.0 on it with my Nexus, it's not too huge of a deal to me. To some of you it might be, so it just depends on who you are. As far as the phone goes, this is pocket mode on the phone. This is something that is definitely new. It does it to prevent your phone from accidentally dialing people while it's in your pocket. I never had that issue on this phone, but some people must have, so OnePlus went ahead and fixed it. Another issue that people were wondering about is the alert slider. Would the alert slider be more customizable? For those of you who don't know, the phone has an alert slider. All the way up is what you use to put the phone in silent mode. And people want it to be the opposite way around. They want it to be you put the phone all the way down for silent mode, just like you're turning down the volume of the phone. So, is this something that got fixed? No. It's still silent, do not disturb, and ring when you are using the alert slider on the phone. But there are some additional options that you did not have before. So these are just to list some of the options that you have on the do not disturb mode. So you can do things with the light. If you got someone who called you repeatedly, do you want your messages to come through? What about alarms when you're on do not disturb mode? So these options definitely are something that people will like to play with a little bit more. So that depends on who you are. And then with your gestures, there are more gestures than there were before also. So you can do different gestures to do different things. The 3-finger screenshot is definitely new. That's going to be key because before you could hold down the power button and it gave you the option to screenshot. That is not there anymore. It's just power and reboot. So to be able to swipe down with 3 fingers and do the screenshot, it's going to be easier than you trying to hold the volume down and the power button to do a screenshot. So definitely take advantage of the gestures in the phone. The other major question, there you see at the bottom where pocket mode is. So the other major question is just going to be, by the way, you now have this. So when you hit your button, depending upon how you have it set up for your task manager, you can now hit this and it'll automatically clear everything out. As you can see, I have a Kakao theme on my phone, but there's the Google Now launcher, there's the OnePlus launcher as well on the phone. For me, I use Kakao a lot, so it just works better for me. As far as what is the performance like, I do have to play with the settings a little bit more on this phone. The reason I need to play with the settings more is my phone is using a lot more RAM than normal. It's still under 80% of the RAM. For those of you who don't know, this phone has about 4 gigs of RAM available on the phone. So with this update, I'm using about 3 gigs of RAM normally, but if I clear out my task manager and keep the phone background pretty much clean from things running in it all the time, battery life is still good. I still don't have a problem where I'm at the end of the day and I have to charge the phone. Even when my battery is low when I go to sleep, there's still more than enough to use the phone when I'm going out and about all day. So I've been gone all day. My battery is at probably around, actually I have a thing right here, I can show you my battery level. My battery level is at 41%. When I left the home, my battery was around 90 to 95%, and that's going on 11 hours ago. So I'm not at 1/3 of a battery level, but this is going to be more than enough to get me through the night without the phone shutting off. So battery performance is still good. There is a battery saver mode on the phone as well. So if you do need to use battery saving mode, that is something that would automatically turn on at about 15%. So go there, battery saver, turn on automatically at 15%, but you can just turn on battery saver at any time you want as well. So that is another option people have been wanting on the phone. And just go, of course you have that with the battery bar and everything, but just showing how you can manage high power using apps on the phone and your battery settings as well. So definitely some more features to play with on this phone. It is going to be disappointing for you if you are wanting Android 7.0, but if not, and you just want to have a solid phone with a good battery life, and now with voice over LTE, still a solid phone that you can pick up. Definitely options you can play with. So if there's any questions you have regarding this phone, definitely go to OnePlus's website, oneplus.net. The support forums on there are oftentimes busy with people asking questions, offering suggestions on various OnePlus models. If you're with OnePlus and you're watching this and you want me to do a review on the OnePlus 3 or the OnePlus 3T, by all means contact me, give me a phone, I'll be more than happy to use it. This phone is still my daily phone, so I will continue to use this. The battery life, the overall performance of this phone is better than my Nexus 5X, which means I'm going to have to think about, unfortunately, maybe giving up Google Fi, just because I can get service much cheaper through a company like Cricket, or I could get T-Mobile service cheaper through Metro PCS. So I'll definitely do a video about that later, but still, this is a good phone, solid phone. Options are great, so definitely if you're in the market for a phone, you want one that's budget friendly, hit up OnePlus. Again, this is the Waygookin, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.